Hey everybody, I want you to head down to teespring.com and check out Bondy's Boutique and get some of Bondy's merch.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back for another Queen Sugar review, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into my notes. So y'all, let's start with Aunt Vi. Aunt Vi is having a hard time since she stayed up all night reading Nova's book. Okay, she's not feeling well, shaky, crying, messing up her eye makeup. Hollywood really wants her to take it slow and chill out and not stress herself out, but she don't have time for that. She has a business to run. So she goes out on the floor of the restaurant, start wiping the counters, getting ready for people to come in. And guess who comes in as the first customer of the day? Jimmy Dale. She didn't really see him at first, but when he walked up on her and said what he said to her, she recognized that it was him. And then she passed out. He called her, and Hollywood came in there. And right as she was like stirring and about to come to, he disappears. And she's like, wait, who was that? She was confused. She didn't know what she saw. She thought she might have been imagining it. But then after a while, as things came clear, she recognized that she did see him. But nobody said anything to Hollywood. Hollywood don't know how Jimmy Dale looked. So when he was there, he just had no idea. He just thought it was another customer. So Vi goes home. And she's like throwing up in the toilet. And Hollywood is like, what is going on? This seems to be more than just, Nova's book. What's going on? And she says, I saw Jimmy Dale today. And she explains the bald man with the white beard. And Hollywood said, dude with the yellow shirt trying to play like the Good Samaritan and shit. Like, he was pissed when he found out who he was. Okay, so now Hollywood says he gonna handle this shit, right? So he calls the restaurant and tells them to call him whenever that man shows up again. So that's exactly what they do. They call him when he shows up again, and Hollywood walks in and sits in his booth. He said, look, bro, I know who you are, so you can chill out with all the shucking and jiving and shit. Get your ass in your car and take your ass back to wherever you came from. And y'all know Jimmy Dale with all that, but I didn't mean to bother anybody. I was just coming to check in on an old friend, doing all of that shit. And Hollywood say, look, bro, unless you want to see these hands, I suggest you get your ass in your car, speed across that parish line, okay? Go ahead and get to it. So he watches him leave and get on the bridge and go across the river, but Jimmy Dale must have been right back turned around because he pops up at Vi's house. And he comes in, she lets him in. And in that moment, I recognized what Nova was saying when she said Aunt Vi was weak. And when Jimmy Dale was like, come on, just let me in. We just won't talk. I just want to apologize for some things. She looked weak. And then she let him in. And he comes in and he's talking about how the house still, feel like his house and all of that. And she like, but it ain't your house, Jimmy Dale. What you want, And he's just talking to her like an asshole, talking about how he wants to apologize for how he was and everything, and how, sometimes when men get older, that's when they get their dignity. And she says, you ain't talk to me about no dignity, Jimmy Dale. Get the hell up out of my house. Nova is standing in the doorway and she comes inside when she notices that it's Jimmy Dale. He says, oh, it's good to see you again, Nova. And Aunt Vi says, again? What you mean again? Apparently, Nova contacted Jimmy Dale to get his side of the story with Aunt Vi and Jimmy Dale and him abusing her and all of these things. So Jimmy Dale says, oh, she ain't got to apologize for that. She ain't got to explain nothing. I just was coming by. And, he said, I see, you're still looking good. But, you got a little pouch right there. And he bends down to touch her stomach. And then Nova grabs his hand, twists his hand, put it behind his back. They push him out the door. Aunt Vi beating him. Get out my house. Get out my house. He falls down, off the porch and everything. And then here come Hollywood. Hollywood say, bruh, you going to really roll up to my house with this shit? Man, Hollywood knocked his ass out, beat the shit out of him. They had to come and get Hollywood up off of Jimmy Dale. Jimmy Dale talking that shit about how, I said I was sorry, but I ain't sorry for nothing I did. I'm like, you better go on before you get your ass whooped some more. Okay, so he go on and get in his car and leave. And I don't know if this the end of this, but this is Nova's fault, okay? Because, first of all, she had only shown up because Aunt Vi had been calling her like crazy and told her she better make her ass round to her house before the sun go down. So, when she come over, they supposed to talk about this anyway, and here come Jimmy Dale, with the bullshit, all because Nova decided to go and stir up all of this old drama between the two of them. And she's wrapping up Hollywood's hand because, he didn't bust his hand on Jimmy's face. Nova is pleading her case and talking about how she never meant to hurt anybody, and she was, searching for redemption, and she was just trying to get the truth, but her intention was never to hurt Aunt Vi. And Aunt Vi just sits there and lets her finish, and she says, you have done some things in your life, child. But see this? Your daddy, your mama, be ashamed of you and what you've done. I need you to get up out my house. And I don't need to see you again for a very long time. We can go 10 years, and I think I'll be fine not seeing you again. Don't come to my house no more. Don't knock on my door no more. I don't have nothing else to say. This is the last time I let you in this house. And Nova just cries, y'all. Just cries and walks on down the stairs and walks out the house, y'all. So let's go over to Charlie and Micah. So Charlie finds Micah that morning reading Nova's book. And Micah doesn't understand her. He doesn't understand how Charlie can do some of the things that she's done. Paying that lady millions of dollars not to talk. And she explains that she did it for him and for their family so that they can have privacy. Like, don't nobody need to know their daddy a hoe through blogs and television and all, and all the news and all that. Nobody need to know that like that. Okay, like, it is what it is out here. But still, like, that's messed up. However you slice it, that's messed up. Charlie asks him if he believes everything he read in that book. And he says, I don't know, but I know I trust the person who wrote it. So now Charlie feels like her son doesn't trust her. So Micah gets back to school, and his girlfriend is walking down the hall ignoring him because she's mad at him because he got in a fight the last time they went out. She says he needs to learn how to deal with his anger. He says he will because he wants to be with her, and how she sees him is important to him. So he's going to try to handle it. He can't promise that he won't disappoint her again, but he's definitely going to try to get it together. So Charlie finds out that Jacob Boudreaux is now allowed to go to meetings for the company when before he could not, because he and Charlie have the same amount of shares. So she calls the sister. I forgot the sister's first name, but y'all know it's Jacob's mama. And she calls her trying to get in contact with her, but she's not accepting any phone calls right now. So Charlie says, you let Frances, that's her name, you let Frances know that I'm expecting a phone call so she can tell me why Jacob is allowed to go to the meetings and I'm not, when we have the same amount of shares. So eventually Charlie busts in on Jacob in his office talking to a lawyer who knew who she was, and that made her feel uncomfortable. And he was basically telling her, like, look, I'm family, and they just wrote something in that says anybody that's family can be at the meetings, whether they have enough shares or not. So now she's pissed off about this. And he texts her saying, meet me out back. Apparently, the lawyer that was waiting outside was ear hustling. So they meet up outside the building. And he says that something is not right, that he thinks she needs to lay low and just collect her dividends and chill the hell out. Because if she doesn't, he's afraid something is going to happen to her. His family rolled dirty. And she don't care, okay? She says she's not just going to lie back, just like he don't just lie back on his white privilege or the privilege of his family and all of this. Just like he makes the decision to keep trying to prove himself in his business, even though he doesn't have the same, the same fucked up demeanor as his other family members. He doesn't want to like kill people and hurt people and stuff like that. And that's kind of what his family is into if you don't do what they want you to do. And he's just trying to warn Charlie. Y'all know they used to have a little tryst, a little affair. And he's just trying to let her know that he cares for her. And Charlie's like, look, bruh, at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I got to do and you do what you got to do. Because I see you going to protect your family and I'm going to protect mine. Charlie meets her little boo in City Park for a little picnic. And he's talking to her about how Ralph Angel takes good care of his people. One of Ralph Angel's workers is sick, really sick. And he takes good care of him. He actually called Charlie about it, said that he needed her help. But she was busy trying to deal with the Boudreaux situation. So as they're talking, he says, I've heard horror stories about how people are treated on some of these farms. And he references the time where Charlie made the men stay later when a hurricane was coming to work on the land. And two of them ended up getting stuck and missing a bus and getting killed. And when he mentioned that, she just kind of was like, so, what would you do to help everybody out? Like just glazing over it like it wasn't her, right? I'm like, eventually he's going to find that out and that's going to be an issue. But he says he would like to open up a clinic. He just needs, a clean space and somewhere that's hidden so people can have, privacy when they come in for help. And so that's exactly what she says she can provide for him. She says she has a building on the sugar mill property that she can get cleaned up. He brings the people, she brings the supplies, and they can turn it into a clinic for everybody. So this is her way of trying to fix that fuck up, right? So let's hop back over to Micah. Micah shows up home with his girlfriend and opens the mail and sees another death threat. He didn't realize that he'd been receiving them to the house this whole time. So he goes in there and puts the letter on Charlie's desk. And Charlie says, don't worry about it. I'll handle it. And he's like, how do you handle a death threat? And she says, I'll handle it. And Charlie says, why is it that I feel like nothing that I've been doing for you lately is good enough? And he says it's because I guess I've realized that me and you are two different people and we see the world differently. She says, okay. So she starts to bring out all the letters. She says, this is the letter you got right after you did your prison speech. And then you received another one the day after that. And so I decided to send you to France with a security detail that you didn't even know about for a couple of months. And then you received one the day before you left and on the day that you left. And then received another one the day after. He's standing there all surprised and everything. And he's, starting to get emotional and cry and looking like the child that he is instead of the man that he, thinks he is. And Charlie says, let me protect you. That's all I'm trying to do. I am committed to keeping you safe. So if we see the world differently, it's because of that. And I'm like, that's for true. Because you out here fighting and putting your life in danger over any old thing. And your mama doing everything and paying all kind of money to protect you from even mental and emotional anguish. For you to sit up there and side with her on Nova over your mother, I think it shows the immaturity. Because one day you're going to have to realize that Nova can be there for you as an auntie and give you advice and all of that. But she will never take on the job of protecting you the way your mother will. And that's the lesson he needed to learn. And I'm hoping that this moment taught him that. I'm not sure, but I'm a need for him to have learned that, okay? While Nova is going through so much success with her book, her family is just not having it. Okay, every day she's getting a call about some other person that wants to interview her, or some other deal that she's gotten, or someone writing a great review of her book, and everything is going so great for her when it comes to her work. But shit is going down the toilet with her family, and that's just really hard for her. But this book has pushed her into what is described as the upper echelon of writers discussing race. So people are looking at her now. And then she's doing this show where she's helping out families who have been in similar situations and look at the book and the situation that everybody has been through in the book and relates to it. And Nova talks about how she feels as if she was hiding things and suppressing things. And that's what we do when things get hard. We just suppress them and put them in the drawer, but they never go away and they stay with us until we deal with them. And so this is her trying to deal with all of the things that have taken place. And she can, tell that bullshit to whoever she think will believe it. But the bottom line is you put your family on the line and told a truth that wasn't yours to tell. So it does not make you right just because all of these people are praising you for showing them visions of themselves in other people's stories. You know what I'm saying? So y'all, let's move over to Ralph Angel. Ralph Angel talks to Prosper about Nova's book and how it's in there that he's not Blue's biological father. And Prosper tells him, my daddy wasn't my real daddy neither. And I didn't find out until I was in high school. And by that time, I didn't care. He was good by me. He did good by me. And that was my daddy. He might not have been my father, but he was my daddy, Just basically telling Ralph Angel, don't even worry about it because Blue knows who his daddy is, regardless of who his biological father is. That's when Ralph Angel finds out that one of his workers is sick. After that, he goes on a date with a little cute brown girl. Y'all know I still ain't got a name, so she just been a little cute brown girl this whole time. And they go out on a date at Aunt Vi's, eating pie, enjoying each other's company. and talking about, you know, their respective baby daddy, baby mama situations. Her baby daddy is not in the picture, which makes it easier for her because their relationship ended badly. And he says that things are just getting on track with he and Darla. And then he talks about his record. He's like, I need to let you know that I made some mistakes in the past. And she was like, I know, I looked up your background. And it's because she is, you know, a single mom with a child. She got to know if you out here with charges of molestation and shit, okay? So she ran his background, read his file, and she says, I've been working in the law, you know, and in a court system long enough to know that people aren't just their files. So they go on to continue to have a nice, sexy, brown skin date. You know what I'm saying? I wanted some pie after I was finished watching that scene. Shit. Put me an apple pie from Popeyes, bitch. Anyway, so after the date, Ralph Angel drops off Blue to Darla's. And he has to tell Darla about the book. And here's the thing. He tells her about his portion of the book and how it says that Blue isn't really his child. But he doesn't tell her about the part that he didn't read, which describes her having, you know, Blue in a crack house with a giant on top of her when Hollywood came and rescued the two of them, and he was starving and dying and all of this. You know, the little boy, he was malnutritioned and shit. So that's in the book, but she don't know that yet. And Darla is like, why would she do this? How could she not think about anybody else but herself? And he like, Nova gonna do whatever Nova wanna do. And y'all, I'm so scared for when all of this comes out about Darla, like how this is going to affect her. Is she going to relapse? It's going to affect her relationship that she just got into. Oh, Lord. It's a lot right now, y'all. But the show is on point. And I'm enjoying it so much. I hope y'all are enjoying the reviews. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next set of videos tomorrow. Don't forget about my live at 6:30 p.m. I think it's going to be 6:30. I'll let y'all know for sure tomorrow. But the live will be tomorrow evening. So, see y'all.